is what's called an Oversight Board meeting. That's an oversight for the Palestine Institute for Biodiversity and Sustainability, which is our institute here. Some of you have been affiliated, working with us for years. Some of you, like Brother Ernan, this is the second meeting that you participate in this Oversight Board. And we have on the agenda also to discuss a little bit of the Oversight meeting. I sent you the agenda. There are basically 4 items on the agenda, and we basically will go through them. And if there's any other items, we're happy to cover them also. But here's the agenda items, if I recall. Well, actually, I have them in my PowerPoint presentation, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, the first item is for us to kind of have a round of introduction, because there has been changes at the university. For example, Iman is the new academic vice president. We also have other people. For example, Dr. Ashraf is representing the Munib and Angela Masri Foundation, which is based on our contract with them that they are on this board. And it was Dina Masri or Dr. Ruba or in this case, Ashraf representing the foundation. So let's go through a round of introduction. And we can start, I'll start with me. Everybody knows me. I'm Mazen Kumsiya, co-founder with Jesse and some volunteers of this institute. And this is Jesse here. I'll try to move this so that you can see the people speaking. So as Jesse, you want to say anything, just?
Hi, joining us from a distance, and the person, those in person. Thanks.
And then we have.
Hello everyone. I'm Dina Al-Araj. I am currently the University of.
I'll repeat in case it's a distance doesn't allow speaking. Lina Al-Araj is University Architect Engineer.
Hello everyone. I'm Iyad Iswal, Executive Vice President of the University.
مرحبا جميعا. إيمان الصقة نائب الأكاديمي في جامعة بيت لحم.
Brother Hernan Santos, Vice Chancellor of Bethlehem University.
Brother Peter Irlano, Vice President for Human Resources.
غسان حمضان عميد كلية العلوم التطبيقية والتكنولوجيا والهندسة.
محمد نجازة مدير شؤون المتحف والحديقة النباتية.
مرحبا جميعا. رامي أبو سعد نائب مدير المتحف المعهد لقسم الإدارة.
Okay, the people online, please introduce yourself. Oh, I think. Sorry. Okay.
مرحبا جميعا. إيمان الطيطي مديرة المتاحف وزارة السياحة والأثار.
Okay. Thank you, Iman. Brother Jack.
Brother Jack, Vice President for Advancement at Bethlehem University.
Dr. Ashraf.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ashraf. I am a Senior Policy Advisor at the Munib and Angela Masri Foundation, and will be representing Mrs. Dina and our Executive Director, Ruba. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. I am a professor by profession, so I am a professor also at the University of Jordan. It will be great always to see the guys. You know, I feel like home here. Thank you.
Dr. Ashraf, what field are you from? What area?
I'm a business guy, business and technology economics guy.
Okay, great. And then Amal and Sarah, you want to introduce yourselves? And Sarah, you want to say?
Okay.
Sarah
Khair. Yes, Sarah Khair, team at PIBS.
Okay. All right. So let me just share my screen here for a minute. And I'll try to make this very quick. Okay, I hope those online can see the screen. I don't know what this is, but
Yes, perfect.
okay. So basically, we've had, as an institute, 10 years. This is our 10-year anniversary. And there's a booklet here for those of you who haven't had this booklet. There's extra copies here. It's also available on our website, palestinenature.org, that highlights our 10-year accomplishments. And this meeting, we've had basically, we've had only 2 meetings of this board, the one in April, 5 April 2024, and then this meeting, October 10. On the agenda today is to review the institution's progress and substantial changes since our last meeting, and to review plans for this academic year and to take decisions on direction of fundraising and other key issues that we may want to take decisions on, and then revisit the mandate of the Oversight Board and see if we can make it more active and whether you want to meet more frequently, like every 3 months or whatever, every 2 months. We're happy to do it. So the picture down below is a picture of our last meeting of the board in April. The museum, so now I'm not going to review the achievement of the museum over these 10 years, of course. That's not the point of this meeting, but since we met last April, I will review in those 5-6 months what we have done. In the garden is flourishing. We have honey bee colonies. We collect honey. Rami is our beekeeper. We have olive trees. We have a community garden, and those are going and flourishing now as Muhammad Najajra oversees the garden, and he is Deputy Director for Gardens and Facilities here. We have an animal unit, which, basically we rehabilitate animals, release them when we can, or keep them if we can't release them. We also have domestic animals like chickens, peacocks, rabbits, pigeons, etc. We have a lot of children activities. Every week we have children activities. Tomorrow we have children activities. We have, for example, in the summer, we had a lot of summer camps. You can see just for July, for example, we had 8 activities for summer camps, etc. We also have partnerships with some groups like Crimson, where Amal and Sarah and others go and teach the children there and do activities around the Crimson campus. We do workshops regularly. We have had over 60 workshops in 6 months in our institute. These workshops can be hands-on, for example, women workshop, like you see Johan there is doing the woman workshop, or Muhammad doing tours and exhibit areas, training of people, etc. We also do virtual workshops, like we had one today, Iman was saying, with Dr. Hamdallah, who is a mineralogist, speaking about climate change and so forth. And we also have a mobile museum that we sometimes take to places that are remote that cannot come here. So on Monday, there will be a trip to the mobile museum. Inshallah, we are resuming our mobile museum travels, even though it's still difficult. But anyway, in terms of academics, we supervise bachelor, master, programs at several universities, including BU. We give talks to many classes at BU and other universities. This is Linda Handel, who is Amal's sister, just graduated, the three supervisors that were there. We still do field work, even though it's more difficult now with the restrictions of movement. And we still collect specimens for the museum, for the new exhibits, etc. We got some new equipment like this bat recorder since we spoke last, that records the sounds of bats, very expensive piece of equipment that allows us to detect. We also use ultraviolet for scorpions, etc. We monitor, for example, bird migrations in Palestine. In our research, we publish a lot over the past 6 months. Since April, actually, we had 14 publications. Some of our publications I've bolded here below are related to what's happening in the Gaza Strip and so forth. You can see like the effect of Israeli military activities on the environment. So we shifted our research to, sometimes we shifted to comply with existing emergencies. As I say, sometimes it gives us opportunities when you have challenges. For example, when COVID-19 hit here, we actually published a paper on the effect of COVID-19 on biodiversity. And here we are studying the impact of wars on biodiversity, etc., and other things. In terms of fundraising, we have several grants and projects ongoing. For example, the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund on wetlands. We have other projects ongoing, but we have 4 grants that are pending decision and 2 being written now. One Spencer Foundation for Education with the Department of Early Childhood Education at Bethlehem University, and one that we are working on for the Arab Fund. Brother Jack knows about this, the Arab Fund for Social and Economic Development. So we're working on those 2 grants, inshallah. In the next week or 2, we will submit them. We also just received the good news that our second National Geographic Society grant was approved. This is really important because it's the 2 grants are actually the only 2 grants ever given by National Geographic Society to Palestinians. And not only that, National Geographic Society was so happy with our achievements. They highlighted it in their publications and in their work. And this is very important, I think. We can do more in terms of even publishing an article in National Geographic magazine if I have time, but I don't have time to write it or get the right photos. We have local partnerships with many entities, organizations, etc. This is more recently the Minister of Tourism, Hannes Hayek, visited us. And this is Iman Titi, who's with us. She's actually graduated from Bethlehem University with us, master program. So she works, obviously she's been working, and she's on, she was supposed to be online. Yeah, she is online. She introduced herself. Sorry, my brain is dispersed here. But anyways, we have the Red Cross came visited us, and they will volunteer to pick the olives in the olive picking season when we get there. We visited, for example, the municipality of Dura, where we try to help municipalities in their programs, in their activism, etc. This is when our team visited the Muttala Augusta Victoria Hospital and gave training workshops at Augusta Victoria Hospital in Jerusalem, etc. These are other visitors. This is when Munib and Angela Masri Foundation visited us, Ruba and Ziyad, visiting the new site and seeing what is happening in terms of construction. The Lutheran Foundation and the Augusta Victoria Hospital also visited us here, and we're hopefully developing long-term collaboration with them. Also, we received a visit from the Bethlehem Development Foundation, I think, or association it's called, Dr. Khulud Davis, who used to be Minister of Tourism before. And we're developing, hopefully, collaboration with them. We have collaborations with the Environment Quality Authority, with Women Development Association, or TAM, with the university, with the Department of Early Childhood Education, as I mentioned. We're working on that Spencer Project grant with the Department of English, who came actually yesterday or the day before. This is a picture of Dr. Hanadi and her team, 3 faculty members, because they do a lot of service things. They actually won honorable mention with the Universitat Award. So we're developing collaboration with them, and they are sending 2 of their students here to work with us on the museum and other areas. We also have, in addition to local networking, global networking. We are now a member, for example, of the museums, Lasallian Museum network of 25 Lasallian museums. We give talks a lot, as I mentioned, before, but 60 talks since April, excluding the 212 talks I gave in Australia and New Zealand when Jesse and I went there. We also are a member of the Botanic Garden Conservation International and other international bodies, and help them in their publications, like this technical review for gardens, for international botanic gardens. We help them with that. About the Australia and New Zealand trip that Jesse and I took, it was 53 days, 17 cities, 212 events. That's on average about 4 events a day. And we total spoke to over 22,000 individuals and collected more than 3,400 emails. Those can be very helpful to us. You can see some of our meetings, including with the Archbishop in Australia. These are the events. You can see they were pretty much booked. All our events were booked. This is at the church, for example. This is a high school. You can see the students, etc. We even influence politics of countries. This is, for example, one of the senators who changed her views after meeting with us, and pressure from her constituency, and broke with the Labour Party, causing a big fuss in the situation there. We plan another trip because this has been so successful to UK, Ireland, and USA from 11 November to 14 December to continue work on private donations and publicity for Palestine. These trips recruit support, both financial and in kind, to Palestine, number one, and then to the Institute, Bethlehem University, and our work. Australia was not so successful in bringing in a lot of money for our institute. That's totally understandable, because I was even ashamed to recruit money for us when there is such needs in Gaza, UNRWA and so forth. And actually we recruited a lot of money for that through this trip to help people in Gaza, thousands and thousands of dollars that people wrote to me that they donated to Gaza through UNRWA or medical aid for Palestine or others. So that's good. But our long-term relationship with them, of course, when things quiet down in Gaza, I'm sure Brother Jack and I will be able to get them to donate to our institute. That's what usually happens, is fundraising, as Brother Jack will tell you, is more about friends making, etc. We have a group of volunteers. Our international volunteer pool dried up, of course, during this past few months due to the conflict and war and restrictions on movements, etc. So we started getting more local volunteers, and that's also a positive thing. As I said, everything has two sides to the coin. So when we talk about local volunteers, that's important because that's what we want. And as people don't have much jobs or anything, they're willing to volunteer. Many of these volunteers are, by the way, either students, existing students at Bethlehem University, or graduates of the bachelor program who are doing essentially an internship with us to empower them for the job market when jobs are available. So the volunteers work in various aspects, including our collections. Our collections continue to grow. We now have more than 5,000 herbarium plant specimens, more than 7,000 insect specimens, vertebrate specimens, etc. In terms of the infrastructure, we're still working on this, of course. The building is almost complete in terms of the external structure and all of this. I need a couple more months, 1 month, maybe 1 month and a half. They'll finish. There's still outside work that needs to be done. Unfortunately, the outside work is stopped because we're waiting for licensing issues from the municipality, which Father Riyad, thankfully, with Lena and others, are working on from the university side to try and resolve this issue. Hopefully, we really need it urgently because of we don't want the. Sorry? I'm coming to this picture, yeah. But in terms of the building out there, it's 1,369 square meters. Now we have 2 exhibit areas, this one here for ethnography and one above us for natural history. Together, those 2 rooms are 110 square meters. So we're talking going from 110 square meters of exhibit space to 1,369 square meters. That's a significant 11, 12 times that much. So this is, now we are working with Lena and other people on the design of these exhibits. So this is, for example, the reception area and what it will look like, where people come in here, get their tickets to visit the museum, etc. This will be the biodiversity exhibit area. And Dr. Hassan, if you have students and you yourself and others are interested to help us in the biodiversity exhibits, for example, I have a section of the biodiversity, excuse me, a section of the biodiversity exhibit that is going to be on medical zoology, parasitology. Maybe you can help us with that. That's your area of expertise. This is the outside that they were working on before they got a stop order, work stoppage from the municipality. Anyways, we have also meetings monthly with volunteers and staff. Also, I forgot to mention with regards to the staff, last time we talked about the reorganization of the structure and how we have deputy directors and more specific tasks, like Amal is working on the public relations, etc., and Sarah on the education department, if you want. So all those job descriptions were done, and Brother Peter Iorlano has approved the job descriptions for the new structures that we have approved at our last few meetings with the board. We welcome, of course, donations. This is the links for donations. We have Jesse's effort, by the way, on the issue of following up on donations with Bethlehem University Foundation and with the individual donors has been very critical. Without her efforts, I'm sure donations would dry up because you really have to follow up with them and make sure that they keep the communication. And part of this is opening this monthly meeting, and I'm talking 51 months and more than 4 years that we have been meeting monthly with donors and with the staff and the volunteers, updating them on what we have done the month before, and so they feel empowered. For example, We have a woman named Elena Probst, who is now supporting us with 10,000 euros, I think, every year for our education program, which pays a significant part of this. So we were also, thanks to the university, Bethlehem University Foundation website is highlighting us, and produced a promotional video about PIBS, which you can see. I'll share with you this PowerPoint if you want to watch these videos or whatever. This is my brief presentation, basically, and I'll stop sharing, and then we'll go back to our agenda, basically, and see where we are in this. So this is item number 1, review the progress and substantial changes that are happening here since our last meeting.